First, though, tonight, after Orange County signed off last week, the Orlando City Council is set to vote on their side of the approval regarding a major land development deal, which includes what has become a controversial homeless shelter. Good evening to you. I'm Eric Von Anken. Thank you for staying up late with us for this hour-long edition of News 6. Now, there's two parts to this huge land deal. Last week, we told you about the agreement that it calls for Orange County to stop opposing the 6,200-acre Sunbridge development from being annexed by the city of Orlando. Well, in exchange, Orlando will not annex a much larger piece of farmland, the 52,000-acre Deseret Ranch property. So here's Sunbridge, and here's the Deseret Ranch property. Now, people in Orlando's SoDo neighborhood say that they're concerned about another part of this plan, turning the former community release building along Kaley Avenue near downtown Orlando into a homeless shelter. News 6's Troy Campbell is there tonight with the homeowners' reactions.
The new plan calls for the county to lease this property along Kaley Avenue to the city. They will transform it into a low-barrier homeless shelter. We spoke with residents who say they plan to bring their opposition to city leaders on Monday. What went through your mind?
A lot, because this is our home, this is our investment, this is a community that we chose to live in. We purposely chose a place here. We previously lived a few blocks over, and this is where we decided to buy, and we liked all the redevelopment that was going on.
Kyle Steele says he bought his SoDo townhome 3 years ago. He says he grew concerned after hearing a lesser talked about portion of the Deseret Ranch deal, where the city of Orlando leases the West Kaley Avenue property for $1 a year for 7 years, transforming it into an overnight homeless shelter.
And we already experienced that in many ways, like at 7-Eleven, we have a homeless population who are struggling with mental health or drug addiction, camping out there, where there's Dunkin' Donuts. We see them pass by on our ring cam, packages and stuff oftentimes get lifted.
What are some of your biggest concerns?
My biggest concern is just the nature of what that brings to the area. Like I said, I want to be part of the solution, but I know that it brings, because it's low barrier, it brings a very specific group of individuals into our community.
Steele's neighbor, Beth Coffey, says she plans to submit a letter to the city, writing her opposition to the project. What are you most concerned about?
The fact that it's not going to work to resolve the housing crisis in Central Florida, that it's not going to certainly help the homeless.
Coffey says she's concerned the homeless shelter isn't the best way to spend taxpayer dollars to most benefit the people who stay there.
Any community that has a homeless shelter would like to know why here. And I think the bigger question is, why do we have so much homelessness in the area? Because it's more than doubled in the last few years, and that is because of the fact that there is no low-income housing.
Steele says he'll comment virtually during Monday's Orlando City Council meeting to address his concerns.
My goal is to hopefully they just pause for a second, hear our comments, try to address those concerns, and then let's figure out a solution together.
How would you describe the current issue in this neighborhood and frequenting businesses for unhoused individuals, whether it would cause a safety concern?
Yeah, I mean, it is a safety concern. I mean, I have a family, I have a wife, I have a young child, and so we oftentimes are walking around the neighborhood.
And although the plan calls for the city to only pay $1 a year, they'll still have to pay for all repairs, operating, and maintenance costs. The City Council meeting is set to begin at 2 p.m. inside City Hall on Monday. In Orlando, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.